Everybody, and welcome to the first session today for Adobe Apps for Education. And today our first webinar is called Easy Video Showreels with Premiere Pro, and our presenter is delightful and wonderful and one of my favorite people, Matthias Kleesner, who is from the Netherlands. And Matthias is, I guess I first met him through the Adobe education world with his global video battle, and he's going to be sharing that more with us as we go through today. But it's really cool to have Matthias here. So hey Matthias, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi Pip, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining. Let's just head into the share space and you start sharing your screen for me.
Yes.
So Matthias is going to go through with us any questions you have for him. Please pop them up in our questions for our presenter, and we'll answer them at the end of the session, just because time's a bit of a constraint for this. This session is being recorded and it'll be sent out to you probably within about 24 hours, and you'll be able to go back and watch these. I'm going to share with you some links where all the recordings and stuff would be found. So over to you, Matthias. You there?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, my name is Matthijs Klaasner, and I'm from the Netherlands, like Pip has told you, and I'm an educator over there and do a lot of things with the Adobe. So I'm glad to have some Adobe education leader friends in the room as well. If you'd like to know more, there's an About Me link at the bottom. And basically my area of expertise is in the film and animation. So Premiere Pro is something I use regularly. And this is my school in Rotterdam. Quite large, about 4,500 students in total at this moment. And we're proud to be an Adobe Partner by Design school. So this session is about making a showreel, and because my largest amount of time spent in the animation room, and yeah, showreels are very important for my animation students, so they need to make a showreel themselves. And at the end of their course, they hand in their graduation projects, their own animations, and I myself make an animation of the class itself. So I'm gonna take you through the process of making a showreel with these final animations of last year's class, which I recently uploaded onto Vimeo and YouTube. So the final end result is there for you to watch. So we're going to see what a showreel is, how you set up your projects in Premiere Pro, setting up sequences, importing your assets like photos, audio, and video. Of course, editing on the timeline, making default titles, adding transitions, and finally exporting it into the media encoder, and that all within half an hour. So that's quite a schedule. But yeah, the things of making a showreel is, first of all, keep it short. People who watch showreels don't have much time on their hands on the internet, so a showreel of about 1.5 minutes is okay, but never go beyond that amount of time. And of course, only use your best material, and use your best material at front of your in front of your showreel. So when the showreel starts, bam, that needs to be the spot where you show your best work, and of course leave out your crappy work. Always pay attention to the copyright rules. If you use music, use your royalty-free music. When you choose a soundtrack with a nice beat on it, every single beat in the soundtrack is a nice moment in time to make a cut and go on to another shot, another scene. Well, that works always nicely, and of course needs to be online, available at all times. And when people want to know more about the little piece of your animation, well, put it on your portfolio website as a whole, so they can see the product and learn more about what the product was about. So yeah, let's hop over to Premiere Pro. This is Premiere Pro CC 2014.1, if I'm correct. So the latest version at this moment in time. And when you open Premiere Pro, I've noticed there are some people who never used Premiere Pro before, so you need to get used to the way the software opens. And well, basically, Premiere Pro wants to know exactly what you want to do. So either open a recently made project or create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one. And this is a rather important project window, a new project window, because Premiere Pro wants to know at first what your project is called. So you have to give it a name, and you have to give it a location as well. And I know at my school the computers are not that stable at sometimes. So when software or computers crash, Premiere Pro saves an auto save file at this location. So it's really important to make sure it's a location that makes sense and is a location that you know where to find your material. So I'm gonna name it Showreel 2014, and in this case go to my video disk, which needs to wake up again, I think, and go to my animation projects folder, which is a logical place for me to save the project. Basically, at first the default settings are okay, and then there's another window which we need when the interface shows. There we go. Because we need to, well, we've got a project now, and we need to make a sequence as well to work in, and we of course need to import some assets. So at the bottom end of my interface, I'm going to go for new item and make a new sequence. A sequence is basically the thing that you use in your timeline, and it gives you a lot of options. Well, actually some defaults which are set up, which you can choose. I know a lot of my material is in HD quality, but some of them are in 720p quality. So I'm going to go for a preset of 720p progressive on 25 frames per second, because 25 frames per second is the default in Europe, at least in the Netherlands it is. I think in the States you would rather choose 30 frames per second, but I'm going to go for 25 frames per second because that's the standard over here, and it gives me a good starting point. Okay, and now I need to import my assets. So I've got 14 clips, 14 animations that I'm going to use, and I've got a royalty-free soundtrack as well on my drive. An easy way to import your files is to go to the media browser. Of course, you can also choose for file import, but I've noticed this is a really logical way to choose your files. So I'm going to go to my video disk again, to the animation projects, and I'm going to select all of them with Command A, except for the little folder over there and my showreel. Okay, so I've selected all my video tracks over here, and I need a right click button to import my my file. And a good thing to know is that it doesn't move your original videos over there. It makes a link into your project bin over here. So that's sometimes a little bit complicated to learn, to teach your children, to teach your students that it works this way, that it's linked. So if they move or delete their original video tracks, it will not show up anymore in the project. So that's an important thing to know. And I'm gonna import my audio file as well, which I thought I put into this folder. Toy Soldier. So I'm going to import as well. So when I'm making a show reel like this, I like to work on the audio track at first. So I'm gonna import or place my audio track on the timeline, and this is a track of 2 minutes. I know it's more than 1.5 minutes, but um, I like the track a lot. So, and I'm gonna put it on the second audio track. I put it on the second audio track because when I put my videos on top of it on my video track, there's also always the audio attached to it, which places it exactly on the first track. So I don't want to override my sound later on. So I put it on the second track and lock um, that everything is okay. Okay, so next thing is to find a place and time where I want to start my show reel. Of course, there needs to be a little bit of introduction, so it needs to have a decent intro, which I'm gonna make later on tonight in After Effects. I think about 7 seconds would be enough to make a decent introduction with the names of our school and the animation course and well, all the things involved. So I'm gonna search for a good quality intro track. I like this animation a lot. So I'm gonna double click on the clip and it opens up in the left monitor, which gives you an option to make in and out points. Let's see, I like this part. So make an in point with a mark in. And of course, when you are a great editor, you need to work with shortcuts. So I use the I on my keyboard to make a mark in, hit the space bar to play my video, and hit the O again for an out point. My playhead is now at about 7 seconds, 8 seconds. And when I hit the comma key on my keyboard, it uses this button, the insert button, and it places the first clip on the timeline. And probably most of the times I don't want to use the audio in the original animation track, but just to be sure that when I want to use it, I'm able to use it. So I'm gonna mute this track by using the M, so I only hear the soundtrack. And there goes. A good thing is to make the beats in the music visual for yourself. So I'd like to use markers for that reason. A marker is a little thing that is put on top of the timeline over here. And when you listen to the music and press the M button whenever you hear a beat in the music, it gives you a visual of where the beats are, and then you know where to cut your cut to your new shot. So I'm hitting the space bar and hitting the M several times. And of course I need to do this for the whole 2 minutes, but I think you got the idea that when you make these markers and you are working on your animation on your show reel, it gives you a nice visual where to where to cut your scenes. And of course you can enlarge this audio track as well to see a little bit more of the waveform inside, to even see more of the beats as well. So that's a way to do it. Okay, the second track I need is, well, maybe a 2D animation, because I know this one has got a low resolution. So let's go for well, this marker, hit the space bar again, and O for out point, and hitting the comma key again to get it on my timeline. There we go. And of course I want to end at the second marker, so I can move it aside the end of the clip, and there you go. So this one needs to be scaled up a bit. Most of the times it's better to scale down, but this one is really small, so my whole show reel would be losing its quality, so I'm gonna scale this one a bit up in the effect controls over here. So once you've selected your clip, you can go to the motion panel, and this looks a lot like the things you do in After Effects with the same stopwatch like button. But I'm not going to animate it at this moment, but I'm going to scale it up in proportion until it fills my frame, and it doesn't look that bad, the quality at this moment, so that's okay. And getting back again to the original monitor, and let's do that another time with this one is cool, a 3D animation. So maybe like an in point over here, the I, hit the space bar, and the O again, and hit the comma key to put it on the track again. Well, and this one needs to go the other way around, because this one needs to scale down a bit more until it fits nicely in the frame. And so I continue on making this this show reel work. So when you are done making the show reel, you need to work with transitions, and you need to work with titles. In my opinion, it's when you watch the show reel, it's getting irritating when you see the same project over and over again in the same 1.5–2 minutes of your show reel. I think you can reuse the same project only once. Once at first and later on once again, but never use it more than 2 times in the whole of your show reel. In my case, when I've got 14 clips over 2 minutes time, I can use them twice. Of course, different shots from the same clip, and then you got a decent show reel. So yeah, let's move on to making transitions between the clips if needed. This is a really hard cut until the next shot. Of course, you can make a nice dissolve to the next shot. So there's another effects panel over here at the bottom of the screen with some audio effects and transitions and some video effects and transitions. All the video effects are more like the things you know in Photoshop, like adjusting the contrast of your movie, doing some color correction, keying, all that kind of stuff. And transitions is really going from one shot to another shot. So how do you make that work? The default transition is a cross dissolve, which you find in the dissolve folder, and this is the cross dissolve. So that's normally the default in Premiere Pro. You can click and drag it onto your clips in the middle of it, and then it will transition into the next clip smoothly like this. I hope Adobe Connect shows you the result. But it's a lot of work that you need to do when you've got 28 or 30 clips in a row to make every clip dissolve onto the next into the next clip. So when you select all of your clips, it's better to go to the sequence menu and then apply the default transition to the selection. and then you will get the transition in all of your cuts in your showreel. So now we've got 4 transitions from black across dissolve into first shot, and at the end going to black again. And runs really well in real time on my computer at home, which is a little bit slower than the computer from my school. I can adjust the playback of my computer onto a lower resolution, so it looks a little bit more pixelated when you play your video. But in the end, you can see it fluidly in real time, how your animation goes, and when you pause or stop your edit, it shows you the full resolution of your still at that moment in time. So that's pretty cool to work on a slower computer. So let's go back to half again, because that works fine on this MacBook. So let's put in a little title for this showreel of 3 clips in total. There are several ways to make a title, and there are a lot of options, because you can go to File, New, and then Title. Of course, you can use a Photoshop file as well. A title, or go to the title menu and then choose from a still title, which is standing still at, of course, a rolling title, which rolls from the bottom of your screen to the top of, or reversed, and a default crawl, which crawls underneath your screen from left to right or right to left, if you will. And there's another option to make a title over here. So there's a lot of ways to go. Let's choose for title, and it gives you another window, intro title, with the exact settings of your sequence over here. So if you don't change anything, it will fit automatically. And when I hit my playhead again in the sequence, you can see that the background of the title is transparent and allows you to GLR allows you to type like you're familiar with in other tools of Adobe. There are a lot of title styles at the bottom which you can use. Some are really nice, some are really awful, but it gives you a basic start of what you'd like. So yeah, this doesn't work at all, in my opinion. But maybe, yeah, something like this with the background with a little shadow and a little stroke around the corners would work. GLR Showreel, but I know my school uses another font. That's the Cecilia. So it uses the same settings like the title styles, but you can also adjust it later on in your project. It was the autosave which popped up. Something that confuses my students a lot is that there's no way to save your title, because it will automatically save your title. So there's no save button. Just close your window and it will be down here at the bottom in your project bin. So drag it on top of my sequence, and there we go. And if I put it on top of a clip, you can see that it's transparent as well. Later on, I will be in my second session, I will be exporting this file into After Effects to make it a nice animated clip. So I'm gonna export this file. That's the final step we need to take. to make a movie out of it, which you can put on YouTube, on Vimeo, deliver to your client. You can match the settings of your sequence, of course, but when you don't match the sequence settings, there's a lot to choose from. Really popular is the video codec, the H.264. This is a codec which compresses your video a lot in the megabytes, but gives a high quality video in the end. So that's pretty cool. There are a lot of presets for mobile devices, tablets, and of course in the end Vimeo and YouTube, which gives you the correct aspect ratio for YouTube or Vimeo, 1080. And finally you can choose for export or Q. When you hit Q, it will open up the media encoder and export your video over there, which allows you to continue working on Premiere Pro. But you can also use the export button, which exports your video immediately into an MP4 file in this case, which doesn't allow you to continue working on Premiere Pro until this is done. So yeah, those things are the basic things that you need to know when you are making a showreel or making an edit in Premiere Pro. It's not that hard to do, to familiarize yourself with the tool, but it takes a lot of time to make the right decisions in making decisions in where to cut your scenes, and yeah, it takes a while until you are a great editor. But the tool is not that hard. So I hope there are some questions about Premiere Pro which I can answer at the end.
Hey Matthias, yes, we do have a question for you. There's a question from Jim Kinney, and he wants to know, can you duck the audio, i.e. drop the volume, rather than mute within Premiere?
Oh yeah, definitely. The way I'd like to do it is to use the pen tool, and when you open up your audio track a bit more until you see the waveform, and of course you can zoom in a bit more. For instance, I want to make it loud when the title is running, and lower it when the clips are coming in. Well, just use your pen tool, and oh, it's locked at this moment. Use your pen tool and create an anchor point, and create another one and pull it up with your mouse, and that makes the sound harder. And of course you can lower it down as well, and you can do that for the whole track. So yeah, definitely that's possible. I hope that answers your question.
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any more questions for Matthias? Just while you're, if you do have any questions, I'll just remind you that there is an Adobe Generations Pro video course has just started on the Adobe Education Exchange this week. So if you're looking for a nice collaborative MOOC sort of style course on video creation that starts this week, and then it'll have a break in December before it starts back in January, then you might like to join that. Matt also has his the wonderful global video battle. Would you like to just tell everyone a bit about that, Matthias, while I pop the link into the exchange, into the area there?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things I do this school year. It's a competition in filmmaking between students all over the world. Last year, 8 schools have been involved. Some in Korea, some in Turkey. New Zealand was there as well, and Texas. So quite a lot of students were making the same assignment all over the world, and they wanted to make the best video possible. And of course, only one team could win. Luckily, that was us again in Rotterdam. But yeah, they made a video in about 10 minutes, with a length of 10 minutes, a combination of video and effects, and they have to do the whole process themselves. So they have to write the script until exporting it into the media encoder and delivering the file. And finally,
Great, fantastic. I
sorry
watched
for
some of the videos. I watched some of the videos last year, Matthias, and they were just amazing stuff. I love when we let our students free to create like that.
And we are starting up the new edition of the Global Video Battle. So keep an eye out on the website and the Twitter handle, and then you
Okay.
free to join.
That's right. So Molly, if you'd like to just pop on and have a look at the website, and you'll see some of the videos there. I'd just like to. That's 3:30, so that's time. Well, not 3:30. Sorry, that's the half an hour. So that's time to end this session. So I'd like to thank Matthias very much for joining us. And sharing with us for our first session today. And later we'll be having a session called, which focuses on using Premiere Pro with both After Effects and Photoshop. So we can see some awesome Creative Cloud integration there. So thank you very much, Matthias. Thanks everyone for coming. Have a great day wherever you are. And oh, thank you, Buffy. That's excellent feedback for Matthias. Thank you. And we'll see you all in a few hours' time. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Matthias. Thanks, everyone. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. See you in a few hours, about
Yeah,
7. Hang on a second. I just...